Storm Daniel is raging over the Aegean Sea and the weather is crap. So
Definitely we need a comfort food.
that's for sure. So we are gonna make cheesesteak pizza that we promised you in a previous episode, which totally American invention. And we're gonna use some leftover carne asada we have from an episode we did also recently. There's a link down below for that one. And then we are going to make a quick and easy pizza dough, less than 2 hours, so you can make this on any Wednesday if you want to, not to go into cold fermenting 48 hours or 72 hours and all this, so you have to plan ahead. And then we're gonna make an Alfredo sauce. We're gonna saute onions and peppers. And yeah, that's
An
it.
elaborate scheme.
Absolutely, as always. But first up, for our dough, we have to proof our yeast. I have 400 milliliter of lukewarm water. We're gonna give that half a teaspoon of sugar just to feed the yeast. And then we have 10 grams of dry yeast. I'm just gonna get that dissolved. And when that's mixed in, we set that aside to proof. And we take a large bowl and we add 600 grams of type 00 wheat flour. This is actually Caputo Manitoba again. Since we got it, we better use it. So this is 66% hydration. And to that, we're gonna add 15 grams of sea salt. And that sounds like a lot, but you want it to be a little bit salty in the crust. It's a thin pizza, this one. So let's get that mixed in. When your yeast is nice and bubbly, as you see here, we know it's well and alive. So we're gonna pour that straight in to our flour. And then we're gonna add 25 grams of extra virgin olive oil. And this is to get a good crust. If you were cold fermenting, you wouldn't do this, but since we are doing a quick one, then this is a good way to get a better crust. So in with your spoon and give it a good mix. And then we're just switching to a dough card when it starts to get combined here. So we can fold it over itself like this. So when everything is well combined, we're just gonna scrape down the sides here, so get everything nice and tidy. There we go. And then we're gonna cover this up and we're gonna wait probably half an hour, 40 minutes until double in size. In the meantime, let's prepare our vegetables. Have here one large onion that we're gonna cut into, let's say, like this, so we get some batons or whatever you want to call them. And we move on with some green pepper. That's a big boy we have here. That's nice.
Is it a boy or a girl?
I'm not so sure that that is nothing but an urban legend or a myth or whatever you want to call it. So I don't think it's true. But let's cut that in also in batons like this. Into our bowl, and then we can continue with our garlic. See what we have here. That's a big one here. So let's get started on that. We want to fine chop that. Let's get that into our little bowl here. And that's about it for our veggies. Our dough has about doubled in size. So now we're going to give it a single flip and fold just to build up some gluten strength here. So as we always do, up and over itself. And you see after 2 times, it already strengthens well. That's gluten.
That Manitoba is good, huh?
Yeah, that's gluten for you. And then we do a few turns like this to chuck it in nicely. That will give it a little bit of motion to get the gluten network to really strengthen up. Perfect, nice taut round ball. We cover this and we give it another half hour until double in size. Now we're ready to get started on our veggies and our Alfredo sauce. So let's fire up 2 pans here. Let's say medium flame.
You must be very happy with all these tools now here.
Now it's everything fired up, it's excellent. So for the veggies, we're gonna go in with a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, maybe 3. They need to have some love. good for them. Let that warm up a bit. And then for our Alfredo sauce, we start out with a stick of butter. There we go. And let that melt. So let's get our onions on the pan here so they can start softening up. I don't want it too warm. I want it to soften. I don't want it to brown too fast. So just in with the peppers and the onion and let that go slowly there. Sort of, as I said, medium flame. Break the onions up here. Now we let those sweat. Butter is just starting to sizzle. Then we go in with 2 minced cloves of garlic, 2 large ones. And we let that become fragrant. Let me find my spatula here. Be careful not to burn it because it burns easy, but give it 20-30 seconds just to start giving some aroma out. Ooh, that smells. Butter and garlic. That's a fantastic smell. So nice. Give this a little love here. The peppers also smell good. Nice. This is nice and fragrant. We go in with half a liter of chicken broth. And let that come up to a simmer.
They break up nicely. Huh?
Yeah, they break up completely on their own. And they're starting slowly to soften up. Now this is up to a nice simmer. So now we go in with half a liter of heavy cream. You can use light cream, you can even use milk if you want to, that's all up to you. And now we're going to let this come up to a simmer and let it reduce so we get some thickening of our sauce. And while you do that, we're going to add a tablespoon of dry thyme, 1.5 tablespoons of dried oregano from a year's Petros on Peloponnese.
That's from the mountains.
Yeah, a small pinch of salt. Be careful because we're going to add cheese later and the cheese is salty, but I want to get just a little bit of salt in to start the flavors to come out. Pinch of freshly cracked black pepper and stir that all in.
They smell already so good.
Yeah.
Both of them.
It's going to be good. Let's give this a flip. They're softening up nicely.
That's
Beautiful.
like a playground for you.
It is a playground. These are nice and soft. I don't want them to go any further because they will also cook on the pizza. So switch this off. And our sauce here, now I'm going to give that a little bit of cornstarch to thicken up. So 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and a couple of tablespoons of water in with that. And that will make it thicken up real quick. So we get a nice, look how quick that goes. Ooh, that smells good.
Yeah.
And straight up, we are going to add in our cheese. We have here 200 grams, I think it is, of finely grated Parmigiano Reggiano. Just did it now, and we're gonna mix that in, reduce to low flame, and let that melt in to our beautiful Alfredo sauce. Our Alfredo sauce is about ready and is looking good, but let me just give it a taste for salt after we put the cheese here. Coat the spoon. That's good, and it doesn't need salt. That's just perfect. And by the way, when you're making this for cheesesteak pizza, make a lot of it because that's gonna make a kick-ass pasta if you have leftovers of this. Now we're ready to move on with our dough. Our dough is nice and has risen to double in size. So let's get that out of here. But first, we have to flour a little bit the top here, especially the sides. I'll show you why. And then a little bit on our surface here, where it's going to land, and our tools, because it is a little bit sticky. There we go. And then we use our flexible dough card to move down the sides here to release the dough from the ball, moving down the flour that we put before. And let me see if I can flip it out so you can see. There we are. Beautiful. Now this was 600 grams of flour and 400 milliliters of water, so that gives a total of 1 kilo. And that means that if we want to make like 30 centimeter or 10, 11, 12 inch pizzas, then we're going to split it in 4, about 250 grams each, approximately. I mean, if you're really anal about it, you can put them on your kitchen scale and weigh them out, but
we are not.
We are not. And then flip them over. If there's too much flour, just dust it off. And then we're going to give it a tug in like this. And then we take the bottom on our board, and then we use the board to create some tension. So we make a nice round ball. See, so pretty. And we move that to our proofing container, and we move on with the next one. And the last little beauty is done. We leave that here, and now we're going to give them a dusting on top so that they don't stick, because they will grow like this. We cover them and let them double in size while we preheat our oven to around 300 degrees Celsius. Here we are, ready to shape some pizzas. Look at those puppies here, they look really good. So let me get one of these out on the board. Close this so they don't dry up. And then we're going to press from the middle and press the air out so we create a nice crust with air. We want to keep the air in the crust. That's what I like. It's like this Napolitana style pizza. And once we get a little bit of size, we go up, put it over our knuckles, and then we start spreading it slowly. I'm not a pizza master, so bear with me here.
So we're not going to see the pizza flying?
No, I usually like to use gravity like this, but actually I figured out that using your knuckles like this is a little bit easier. So that was something I learned. I can't remember who did it. So that looks pretty good for a starter. Now we're going to put some semolina on our pizza peel here, so we can get it to roll off on those when we put it on the pizza stone. Give it a little bit more stretch here. That looks good to me. I think that's a nice size, huh? Mm-hmm. What do you say?
Perfect.
And we take our sauce, which has cooled down a little bit, so it's nice and thick, which is what we need right now, because we want to have a good layer of our Alfredo sauce.
It still feels weird to me to make a pizza without tomato sauce.
Well, it's a white pizza. It's not weird.
Well, I have never tried it before, so it's a good one.
No, we're trying new things here.
Always.
It's not perfectly round, but who cares? Then we're going on with our peppers and our onion. Spread this nicely around. I want to have some of this because the onion gives great flavor to a pizza like this. Actually, I think this white pizza, it's Pizza Hut who has it on their menu. Sort of something in this direction. I'm not sure.
Okay.
That looks nice. And then our nice steak. And here, don't be stingy. You have to put quite a lot of steak here. That's what makes this good. It's basically
Be generous.
a steak, no, not a steak sandwich. We talked about that before, but it has to be heavy on the steak, let's say. That looks nice. Also, because when it cooks, it will shrink up a little bit, although this has been cooked before. But I think we're good here. Don't you think?
That's plenty, I think.
Yeah, but it has to be luscious. And then grated cheese on top. This is a
A Gruyere.
A Gruyere, yes.
Yeah, not
you could use
very
mozzarella
strong.
depending what you feel like and what you taste. But take a good melting cheese like this. This is gonna be good. Now we're ready for the oven. So, ready to get it in and see if we can make this work in a commercial oven like this. There we go. The setup here is that we have a pizza stone in the bottom and the oven is preheated to 300 degrees. Actually, the stone is running at 310 degrees. We're not using our wood-fired pizza oven in our pellet grill today because we wanted to show you how to do it in a regular oven. This is actually working amazingly well in that little oven. I'm quite happy with it.
Quite fast, actually.
Yeah. We're talking. Just flip it a little bit around. Smells good.
In a minute and a half already formed a nice crust.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Very
amazing.
Nice.
Almost as quick as our wood-fired pizza oven. Not bad. That was quick, surprisingly quick actually. And an absolute beauty of a pizza. Look at that. And the crust is just perfect.
I'm impressed actually with that oven.
With that oven, that was well done. I have to say I'm quite happy with that. That was a good purchase. Let that cool 1 minute before we dig into it. I'm definitely ready to give this a try now. I never tried it before, cheesesteak pizza, so it's going to be interesting. That's actually fantastic. I mean, I was a little bit skeptical about this with white pizzas, but this is damn good. The Alfredo sauce, that would actually be excellent over some penne one day. That would be great. So, and look, the bottom, how perfect it is. That's just perfect pizza in your home oven. I'm going in again.